Hi guys, it's Ace. It's my first time doing a thrift flip video and I'm really excited to share the process with you. Normally I like to make sure that my patterns are correct to prevent mishaps, but this time I decided to try spontaneous measuring and cutting. And of course I have so many worries, like there's only one of these pieces. What if I were to cut wrongly? What if there's insufficient fabric? Or what if I have to cut on irregular greens? Will the new top stretch out after a few washes? I've seen so many amazing thrift flip videos around, and recently one of my friends shared how she upcycled a dress. Seeing it really encourages me to try, so here I am. I saw this cute trapeze top on ASOS and I wanted to get it on Black Friday, but it ran out of sizes, so I thought why don't I try to replicate it using a pre-loved gingham dress. I'll be using the bottom part for the trapeze flare. I start off by cutting it out. I loosen the original gathers and cut open the side seams, so I can have a piece for front and the other for back. I leave about 10 cm from both sides before running a long stitch across for the gathers. My stitch length is set at 5. I make sure to distribute the gathers evenly so it's balanced. Then I run a top stitch on the gathers to secure the placement. I'm using a camisole to mark out my shoulder and armhole positions. I'm adding some gathers at the armhole for more flare, so I extend about 5 cm out. I'm going for a straight neckline, so I'm leaving the top as it is. Cutting the fabric with 1.2 cm seam allowance for the side seams and 1 cm for the rest. I set the stitch length to 5 for the armhole gathers as well. Measuring the original armhole length so I could gather the fabric to match the length. Secure the armhole gathers by running a stitch down. After marking 1 cm seam allowance for the top, I trim off the excess. Now I'll be working on the back. I place the front gathered piece on a new rectangular gingham piece to get the same length for side seam. Just like what I did for the front, I run a loose stitch to achieve the back gathers. Using the camisole as reference, I am able to get the length of my back. I leave 1.2 cm seam allowance on both sides and distribute the gathers evenly before running a stitch to secure. I place the wrong sides of fabric together and match the side seams. I'll be using the French seam method for a clean finish. Sew 5 mm down on each side and trim off 2 mm if necessary. Turn the outfit out and enclose the seams. Pin to secure or iron press before sewing 6 mm down from edge. The right sides should look clean after the sewing. Now I'm going to create the top bands. Using the camisole again, I mark the shoulder points. I'm also using it to trace the armholes. Thickness of band is about 4 cm. I'm matching the gathers to the band to make sure that the measurement is correct. I give 1 cm seam allowance for the band before cutting it out. I need 2 pieces for the top band, so I'm cutting another piece. For the back, I measure the length and cut a 4 cm thickness rectangular piece with 2 cm seam allowance. I need 2 pieces for the back too. Then I match the side seams for the top bands on the wrong sides. One cm down from edge for all sides. Trimming the edges to make sure that they are even. I'll be making tie shoulder straps and I need 4 pieces. I didn't have enough fabrics, so this piece is joined in the middle. Each strap is 55 cm long and 3 cm wide. Each fold is 0.75 cm. It's a lot easier to iron press the folds before stitching down. I also make sure to fold the end inwards. After pressing down, I sew down the edge for all 4 straps. Placing the right sides of the top bands together. The seams are on the outside. Insert the tie straps into positions and secure with pins. After stitching and turning out, it will look like that. Insert the other 2 straps for the back. Run a 1 cm stitch all around at the top. Push the seam allowances to the inner piece side and do H-stitch on the inner piece, catching all the seam allowances. Before continuing, I make sure to iron press the seam allowance for the inner piece first. It's time to attach the top band to the main piece. I'm using the stitch in the ditch method, so I only pin and sew the outer piece to the gathers. If you are using the overlock method, sew together both outer and inner pieces. Finally, I finished the top band by tucking in the raw seams and enclosing them. You can find a link for this sewing method in the description below. Ta-da! And my trapeze top is done. I'm so happy that this top turned out well. I was really quite worried at the start. This project made me recall how I used to make clothes without the formal considerations when I was younger. It's been pretty fun, and I'm definitely more excited to do thrift flips now. If you like this thrift flip video and want to see more, click subscribe and let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon. Bye!